Imagine sitting with us, a quiet room, two chairs, a small table, time set aside. No performance, no show, only conversation. Moments of listening, wondering, and remembering. Have a seat. You're welcome to listen. Welcome to the Just Right Stories. Are you ready for my question?
Yeah.
You'll never know
This
where
is
we'll
the
go.
best part of each of the sessions.
Yeah?
Plus, it's like stepping into a playground with a person or animal that I've never met, and you can't run away. Can't turn it off.
Yeah, you can't. I sometimes wonder who asks the question. Because we talk about what we're gonna want to talk about, and then a question comes that is connected to that but still different.
Mm-hmm.
So my question for you today is, you sometimes shared that at some point in your life you had a vision of the circle of compassion. Can you share when that was and what it was about?
Okay. Yeah, like what you surprised me. It's wonderful. I can't prepare for your questions. I don't remember exactly but it was early on in playing with the kids. It was a vision. It was different from my normal dreams.
Yeah.
And it was a vision, and I was walking down the steps of, I think it was St. John the Divine in the cathedral in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a crowd at the bottom, maybe 20 people or so, but no one else was around. And I walked out, and as I walked down the steps, it was clear that the group was focused on me. So I walked towards them, and I began to recognize. I recognized my godmother, Mrs. Stantz. I recognized my dad. I recognized from pictures Gandhi, Thomas Merton. You know, it was like a whole group of people that either I knew personally or I had read of, who I respected.
Mm-hmm.
It was clear Jesus was there, and they were all just standing waiting for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I came down and didn't know what to do with them or what to say, and an overweight, roly-poly guy came out, short guy, Japanese guy, and it was Putai, or Hotai. Had a big sack like normal of stuff for kids on his back, and you know, he kind of just said, you know, you're probably wondering what we're doing here, why we're here, and he said, we're here for you.
Mm-hmm.
We're all members of the Circle of Compassion. I thought, wow, and we're here to tell you what your task is. And then he kind of backed off. It seems like I remember my dad coming forward and just kind of, I don't know whether he said it out loud, but I could tell that he was reminding me of something that he had told me many times. And that was, listen to all of the advice you could get, and then do what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it was clear my task at that point was to listen
Mm-hmm.
to this. And I remember a number of people spoke at the same time. Jesus, and Gandhi, Mandela. Wow, it was an incredible group. Einstein was there, and Jesus said, your task is to create peace. And that's all he said. And they were all just looking at, they were all, the presence that I felt from everybody there was affirmation of that message.
But isn't it interesting, the words, your task is to create peace, as if peace hasn't been created yet until
Right.
that point.
Right.
And then,
And he didn't elaborate.
yeah,
You know, like peace in yourself, peace in, I understood it to mean peace on earth.
yeah,
The kind of message that I understood that he was given, or he accepted the task of creating peace on earth. And of course, members of that group like Gandhi, Mandela, there was St. John of the Cross was there, St. Teresa of Avila, and I just recognized, because I recognized them.
yeah,
And then everyone left. So but each person came up and either looked at me, touched me, smiled at me, said something. I can remember my godmother coming up, and she always gave me gifts in real life, always books. That's what I remember. She was vice principal of a high school that, when I played football, was a competitor high school. And I don't think I even knew that at the time. But she had a presence of just, when she gave me something, it was like, this is what the phrase godmother means. It was, my task was accepting what she gave. And each person was different in there. When it was all done, I was left with the message, your task is to create peace. And I knew I had no choice. It was like, wasn't like a job, wasn't like a career, wasn't like a vocation. It was like, this is all there is. Everything else is secondary. This is it. This is what life is. This is what your life is. But the vision was gone, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I essentially just let it go, because I had no connections, no way to implement that. I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
Do I go out and join a peace group? Do I create something? I was left with I have to do stuff. And I didn't know what in the world to do.
Yeah.
I had had enough experience with kids and animals to know that I lived on kind of a razor's edge.
Mhm.
On the one side was the culture I lived in, the social frameworks that I lived in. On the other side, in fact, not even the other side, the edge itself was the world that the kids and animals showed me.
Mm.
And it occurred to me clearly that that world was peace.
Mhm.
My cultural world wasn't peace, that was opposite.
Yeah.
But they were affirming in language and presence
Mhm.
what the kids and the animals did physiologically.
Mhm.
They were teaching me peace inside, in my body, in ways I couldn't question it.
Like you mean a livable piece, a
Yeah.
piece of
Livable
That-
peace.
takes action in a way that's peaceful for everyone who is interacting. So
Right.
you had that task, you got that task, you got that vision, and then you just went on doing what
Yeah,
you did and
but
playing what you played. But at some point, I remember you telling that you got so frustrated that no
Yeah.
one got it, that you wanted to quit, you didn't want to do any workshops, you just wanted to play. And that has been in South Africa, and there was that woman then coming to you, remember? Can
Yeah.
you share that story, because
Yeah.
it connects the vision you had another time.
Right.
What happened there?
Well, I didn't grow up believing in visions or dreams or anything. This was different than I ever expected, than I ever imagined.
Mm.
But so was the play with the animals, so it fit with what was happening to me physically.
Mhm.
But I still didn't know what to do with it, so
Mhm.
I just kind of let it go. I didn't research it. I didn't try to find out what it meant.
Mhm.
And years later, I was doing a workshop in South Africa, and the night before the workshop didn't feel right. I didn't feel like doing a workshop. I was really frustrated.
Mm.
The fact is, nobody listened to me.
Mm.
I just wanted to go back and play with animals and kids and forget the adult world. And I remember asking a religious friend, Catholic priest at the time, did Jesus ever get frustrated? Nobody listened to him. I mean, even he said the disciples didn't get it.
Mm.
And the priest laughed and said, why do you think he went to the desert? Oh, okay. So I should go to the desert.
Mhm.
Well, the kids and the animals were my desert,
Mm.
in a sense. But, okay, I got to do the workshop and keep going.
Mm.
Because it happened to me, I wouldn't say regularly, but it happened to me every so often that the world doesn't want the message of peace.
Yeah.
So why do I keep doing that?
Mm.
Well, the morning came to prepare for the workshop, and the owner of the place where we were living and doing the workshop came and said, Fred, there's a phone call for you. So I went, and it was a young woman. She said, Fred, I had hoped to come to the workshop, but I realized I've been abused, and I don't feel comfortable being in a group of people I don't know
Mm.
when it's about touch.
Mm.
I said, yeah, okay, I understand that. Said, I can be your bodyguard, so to speak, but I appreciate that you need to do what you feel is correct for you.
Mhm.
She said, that's right, so I won't come to the workshop, but I need to see you before the workshop starts. Okay, I have a message for you, and I don't know what the message is. I'm a channeler. And I said, okay, I can work out a time for that. So she came, and I didn't have any real negative or positive feelings about channeling. I wouldn't say maybe I accepted it, but I didn't really agree with it. It wasn't part of what I knew to be real. So she came and she asked if we could go out, and there was a big space in a private space. So we did, and we found a tree to sit under, and she said, I'm gonna do what I do, and if you would just listen to it. And then a voice will come and tell you the message, and then the voice will stop, and I'll be here again, and then I need to go. Okay. So she became quiet, and then maybe a minute or two, a voice came on and said, Fred, we're from the Circle of Compassion, and we know that you had a rather frustrating evening and want to quit and go play with kids and animals. And we're here to tell you that you will never know the positive impacts and results and consequences of what you do. And you have to accept that. You're not going to know that. But we're here to support you, tell you essentially that you're on task, that nobody told you that what you had to do would be easy, right? And I thought, oh, yeah, that's true. Nobody. And the voice was very clear. It felt masculine to me, but very direct and clear. It wasn't, how would I put it? The voice said very clearly, and like the message was impeccable, and there's nothing you can do about it. And when it was done, it was done. And he became quiet. She returned in her voice and said, that was the message. I don't know what you heard. And she went home. And I did the workshop. And a logical part of me said, where in the world did this come from?
Yeah.
How could this group know what I was feeling last night? And the accuracy of their words, of his words, I'll say, was impeccable. It was just exactly right. It helped me continue, but not completely. Because the reality still was, nobody believes what I say. Yeah. I've played with over 100,000 people. And virtually, I think part of it is that I try to come to the message that I was given, you will create peace, did not come, I'll say, from my normal everyday world. But I keep trying to use that world to define what they meant by peace.
Can you explain?
So the group gave me the direction, the job, the task, you will create peace.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is step back into the real world
Mm-hmm.
that I know,
Mm-hmm.
and with the definitions of peace,
Mm-hmm.
and then apply those definitions to the word peace given to me by the circle of compassion.
Yeah.
That's like trying to define God
Yeah. Yeah.
from the world of belief.
Yeah. And that doesn't work.
And I realized I'm using the wrong I'm using the wrong dictionary to define the word peace.
Yeah. Is it possible even to define it in words? It's not possible. Because at some point there is you need to feel
That's
it
a
or live
paradox.
it. It's a paradox.
Even though I can define it in feeling.
In feeling.
I know
yeah.
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But
it
even
might-
the feeling itself,
Yeah.
just afterward, I couldn't define what that was.
Yeah. Yeah. But it
And-
must be that way because isn't every word a category in itself? So if play happens out of categories, there can't be words
Right.
because the words make it smaller, make it into a form where there is no form.
Yeah. And so I do I still get frustrated? Yeah. I still get frustrated by doing workshops.
Yeah.
And I don't, and it's also paradoxical to me. I don't get frustrated playing with kids. And I know, or gang members, men in prison, I know almost 100% that I will never play again
Mm.
with that individual that I'm playing with. I have to let go.
Mm.
I've never had a problem with that.
Mm.
I have a problem with human adults in workshop. And I think it's the whole setting
Yeah.
of what a workshop is and how
Yeah.
it's constructed and the whole process of that. We want to acquire something. We, being adults, want to acquire a state of being that is also a method of doing without having the experience
Mm-hmm.
that supports that
Mhm.
being and doing.
Yeah.
And one of the differences between actually playing with kids and animals and the cultural process of play or
Mhm.
doing workshops and so on. In original play, I'm always on. You don't get time outs.
Mm.
It's 100% full every single second. And you have to be 300% aware of what's going on. That means you have to give 100% to the person, being, animal that you're playing with. 100%. No excuses. You have to give 100% to the immediate environment that you're playing in. What's going on there, who's there, what's happening. And a third 100% is you have to float on top of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only within that context that I can actually play. If I'm not doing that, I'm not playing. And it's not safe. So you begin to realize that there are costs to do this.
Yeah.
I have to give up expectations,
Mm.
categories, wants, desires, of my normal life, everyday life, and accept the rules, the patterns of original play, and bring that pattern into a world that doesn't exhibit that pattern. In fact, is contrary to that pattern. And not be confused about that process.
Can you give an example? What would that mean? What could that be?
It's quite common when I play in schools, that they have rules about hitting, kicking, aggression, and so on.
Yeah.
No hitting, no kicking, no teasing, no bullying, and all that. They don't do it, but they have the rules, just like prison
Yeah.
has the same rules. Okay, so when I go in, I don't verbalize this to staff or directors or anybody. But the reality is, if I'm playing with aggressive kids, those kids are allowed to do whatever they want to me. They can kick, punch, bite, do whatever. But I don't allow those actions to happen to anybody else, just to me. And other adults in that system, teachers in the school, who may see in a child, I can remember teachers saying to the child, don't hit him, don't kick him, and I have to put my hand up to the teacher and say, no. And that raises a conflict that she or he doesn't know what to do with.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to handle that. I try to talk to them about the reason I do that. And the reason is that I have the skills to handle whatever they do and change it so there is no victim in that process.
Yeah.
And other people don't have those skills.
Yeah.
And that's not acceptable to adults. One, they don't understand where that could come from. They want to apply what they know to that, and what they know is, well, is this some kind of martial art? Some kind of special. I say, no, it has nothing to do with martial arts, and I'm not doing self-defense. But if you're not doing self-defense, what is it you're doing?
Yeah.
And when I say self-disappearance, they go blank. There's no way to describe that. So in reality, what's going on, a child comes, and for whatever reason, and the reasons are irrelevant. Doesn't matter whether they've been abused or they had a bad morning, or doesn't matter. Child comes in and begins to hit and kick me. What I mean by disappearance is that when they begin to feel aggressive and give me aggressive moves, what disappears is the category that would respond to those moves with counter-aggression, with defense.
Like more cultural
Yeah.
responses that we learn.
Being a victim or letting. And when the child, what the response that I give is loving safety. So the moves do not have the impact that they would have on me if I was outside of play, if I was a normal person with my skills. So what begins to happen, that the reasons for the aggression, the fear, the anger, frustration, whatever it is, drop away. because the results, the expected results don't occur.
Mm.
I don't fight back, I'm safe,
Yeah.
they're safe, everybody's safe. The aggression doesn't do anything,
Mm.
one way or the other. So it kind of dies away, but it doesn't just die away. The love that I provide is physical as well as emotional. So the moves begin to change the moves of the child, if
Mm.
it's a child.
Mm.
And it's still an issue for an institution. What changes that is not their belief in love. It's their acceptance that I do the job I'm asked to do.
Mm.
And the job I'm asked to do is essentially save money, stop aggression. And they do that. Once they accept that I do what it is they asked me to do, they let go of trying to figure out how in the world I do it.
Mm.
And that's okay, but that living in a world in which what I do doesn't fit the categories of that world requires a higher degree of patience
Mm.
than I used to live with.
Mm.
Requires that I accept, that I don't push. Patience then becomes not a quality I have, but a quality of a relationship in an event. There's a humorous one, a couple of humorous ones. I was flying from the States to Canada, in Vancouver. I landed they pulled me out to go through a secondary search. And the guy just asked me what I do. I thought, this is going to be tough. So I just say educational consultant. But, okay. And I said, what is that? I mean, and I said, well, I play with aggressive kids to help them. And he shook his head and said, just a minute. So he went to get a supervisor. The supervisor came out, and she was carrying this big black notebook, and she shoved it across the desk to me and said, find your job in the notebook. And I laughed to myself, and I went literally spent the time going through this whole notebook, and of course my job isn't in there. And she's frustrated by it, and she said to me, next time, I'm going to let you through this time, but next time, bring a letter from the United States government that defines what you do. And I thought, you think, I didn't say this to her, you think my government
That was what you're doing?
is going to give me a letter that defines something that you don't even know exists? I said, okay. So I have a job that's in nobody's categories. And here's a more personal incident of the same process. A mother brought her teenage daughter to the school where I worked, but she was too old to be in the school.
Mm-hmm.
But her daughter had Down syndrome and autism. And the mother wanted to see me play with her. So she brought the daughter, and when they arrived, the daughter didn't pay any attention to me. We went outside in the school's grass playground. It has a nice playground. And remember, this school is for kids up to 8 or 9, maybe 10. This girl's probably 14, something like that. And she's big.
Mm-hmm.
She ran out, and on the back boundary of the school is a cement block wall. She ran out and sat down with her back to the wall and just sat there. And mother and the directors of the school is with the mom. They both look at me, and I just say, okay. And I ran across them and sit down with the girl. But there's about 2 or 3 feet between us. And I'm sitting with my back. And as soon as I sit down, she turns and faces the other way. That's okay. And in front of me, we're sitting in the grass, and I take a leaf from the ground and I throw it out in front of her. And she kind of turns, not completely, but she turns a little bit, reaches and throws the leaf back in front of me. So I do that again, and she gets up and starts running around the playground. So I get up and I'm running around the playground. Now this is an example, this whole interaction pattern is an example of what I call physiological patience.
Mm.
I don't imitate her.
Mm-hmm.
This is not imitation. If I'm imitating, I'm not being 100% there,
Mm-hmm.
because I can't move until she moves. Imitation has to follow something.
Mm-hmm.
So you're always a step behind. You're never
Mm-hmm.
fully engaged.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to run with her in a way that patterned her without imitating her. So we did this, running all over the place.
How do you do that? You run around with.
There's no how to it.
Yeah.
You have to be 100% present and patient to move exactly the way she moves. For example, when she sat down and turned away from me,
Mm-hmm.
how do you interact?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to interact in a way that allows her to meet you without meeting you.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
leaf.
The leaf, yeah. Oh,
Is
I
it.
understand. I do understand
And
that.
she
yeah.
does. She takes it,
Yeah.
and she didn't imitate me.
No, no.
She's doing what she wants.
Yeah.
And then, so we're running all over this place. And she climbs on play equipment, and I do the same thing. But after a while doing this, she goes and she sits down again. But this time she's sitting next to the school, with her back against the school. And I go sit down with her. But this time, I'm like 3 or 4 inches between our shoulders. We're really close. And she just sits, doesn't move at all. And then she spreads her legs apart, and she urinates in her pants. So there's a puddle, and she starts to play in it. So what do you think Fred does? No, I put my hands in them, playing in it, and in doing that, she touches me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't touch her.
Mm-hmm.
She touches me.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing that for a while, and all of a sudden she gets up and she runs out in the lawn again. So I get up and I run out there, and I run in front of her, and she jumps on my back.
Mm-hmm.
Her arms go around here. I'm holding her, so we're playing like horsey.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk around, run around with her on my back. And we do a few things. Eventually she sits on this little metal playground toy. It's a kind of a horse on a big spring.
Yeah.
It kind of goes
Yeah.
like that. So
Mhm.
she sits on it, but she's big. So the horse is wobbly, and I sit next to her, and we do some things, and all of a sudden she reaches out and she kisses me.
Mm-hmm.
No words, just, and Our whole session may have lasted between a half an hour and an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And the mother came out and said it was time to go home. And the director had filmed the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when I watched the film, the part with me playing it in wasn't there. And I said, what happened? And she said, what you did was not professional.
She didn't film it.
She didn't film that part.
That was the most crucial part of the whole thing.
Yeah. She's locked in a category,
Mm.
and the film depicts her categories.
Yeah.
What I did,
Yeah.
she's right. She's exactly right.
Yeah, yeah.
What she doesn't understand is nothing I do is professional.
Yeah.
So there's the conflict that happens when you're doing something not based on the categories of the world in which you're doing it. I'm doing original, I'm not doing cultural play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mom and the director see cultural play.
Yeah.
But that's not what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So when I do something that's fully within the pattern of what I've been doing from the time the girl
Yeah.
arrived,
Yeah.
it shocks them
Yeah.
because it doesn't fit their definitions, their
Yeah.
categories.
Yeah.
And that's a cost.
Yeah.
I have to be. One of the things I realized in talking yesterday with you was that what I began to call costs are also benefits.
What do you mean?
In order to live with the situation with the girl and putting my hands in the urine, in order to live with that, for me,
Mm.
I have to be very clear about what it is I'm doing. If I'm not clear about what and why I do what I do, it's easy to get trapped by the director's direction and say, you're right, it's not professional, I won't do that again.
Mm.
Well, then I'm just another cultural
Mm.
person.
Yeah.
That's not what the circle of compassion is. The circle of compassion is not a humanistic group. So humanistic rules about what's okay, what's appropriate, and so on is totally irrelevant in original play. But if I'm not clear about that, I get trapped and I become another cultural person. So what can be a cost in terms of finding work in the cultural world turns out to be a benefit because it requires clarity on my part. Clarity about what I mean, what I'm doing, what life is,
Mm.
and the ability to stand with it. You know,
Mm.
Joan of Arc stood,
Mm.
St. John of the Cross stood, Jesus stood, Buddha stood, Mandela stood. Everyone in that circle of compassion knows what it means.
Mm.
And it's the cost of providing God's love in a world of fear is immense. And so I've given a couple of examples of, but are trivial kind of examples. But at times it's not trivial.
Mm.
to stand on that razor edge knowing that this is life and death this second, mine or someone else's, and know that the paradox is to everyone who sees it, Fred standing in this position doing this activity or this event of relationship with another being, what they see is real for them, but it's all they see. They see what's true and not the truth. The truth is bigger than what's true. But there's no way to know that out here.
No.
You only know that in here. And but people pay a high price. Dietrich Bonhoeffer paid with his life for knowing that. It's the message of 4-year-old Paul to me. Fred, this is not about survival. This is about being full, being alive while you're alive. It's not a... And there's such a clarity in what I call saying yes. It's just because there is no no to it. Saying yes in a world of no, for me, has taken the continued clarity of experiences that provided me with answers, safety, love, that were beyond my skills to exhibit. And that's a wonderful experience to know that life is not all about me. And God, we could say God gave, through my parents, the gift of birth, and my job is to repay God with the same love that God gives.
But it's a very scary thing you're saying, like, it's not about me. It's like, to most people it feels life's just about me, because I feel the pain, I feel the fear.
Yeah.
Hearing, it's not only about me, it's like, oh my God, what is it about then? Yeah.
I mean, you bring up the most fundamental issue of original play. It's about being safe on earth. Fear is not safe.
Yeah.
Self-defense is not safe.
Yeah.
That's what the kids knew. That's what Jose figured out in playing with me. That's what Paul knew. So the men in prison knew. But fear, I mean, that's from the beginning, not being afraid in a world as dangerous as ours. Letting go of fear is a huge cost. That's why no one wants to play in the world. The cost is too great. Jesus asked too much. We didn't believe in his love or God's love. And I suspect one could say for 30 years I didn't either. It was irrelevant to me. But in what I call playing me so masterfully, you're given little by little insights into the potentiality of the just rightness of life on earth. And each one is both jarring in the sense of, who did that? Who's here? the reassuring of, I'm safe. What happened?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. We were talking the other day in a large, wonderfully warm pool about parents teaching children to swim by putting all this stuff on them.
Yeah. So they can't even move their arms
Oh, yeah.
on these swim things here. Yeah.
And we're thinking about, we do that because we're afraid.
Yeah.
We're not just afraid that our child might drown. We're afraid of what other people will think about us as parents.
Yeah.
So we're surrounded with fear all over the place. And letting all of it go
Mm.
is a whole lot of trust in what? We don't know. We don't. It's so, on the one hand, so simple. Just say yes. I think it was Reagan's wife in the United States came up with a statement, just say no to drugs,
Mm-hmm.
and became a motto for the whole country. I'm saying, just say yes to grace. That's it for the whole world.
But it's, that's the most difficult part, because you have to say yes in the face of something that really scares you,
Yeah,
and that might hurt you or be dangerous or cost you your life. It looks like that, and that saying yes is the most biggest thing that God asks you to do.
that's why God started slow.
Yeah.
He didn't start with metaphors. God did not start with metaphors or abstractions.
Mm.
He started you have to be physiologically safe in the world.
Mm.
So he had a 4-year-old punch me in the eye,
Mm.
broke my glasses, gave me a black eye. Did I die? No. Did it hurt? Yeah. Did it cost? Yeah. I had to buy, what was it, $80 or whatever it was for new glasses. Came back and she did the same thing the second day. Doubled the cost. So what am I supposed to learn? I'm supposed to learn how to be with her so we're both safe.
Mm.
Simple. I didn't know how to do that. I did what adults do. We impinge upon children. I am in charge. She gently told me, no, Fred, you're not in charge here. Now, I could have gotten angry and all of that. But St. John of the Cross had it so wonderfully correct about how I was played. And if I pay attention to it, I'm going to learn how to be with her. And I'm not only going to learn how to be with her, because what she's teaching me is how to deal with the space between myself and any danger.
Mm.
Could be a lion, could be charging the rhinos, could be an attack dog, could be a teenage punch, could be a baseball bat, could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
But she's teaching me that if I really paid attention, if I was paying attention to her, she never would have raised her arm.
Mm.
She raised her arm because I made her feel unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
I did it.
Mm-hmm.
I caused my own injury.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think that way at the beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
But you begin to, the kids all were teaching me about it's a space, and you have to be patient with the space.
Mm-hmm.
And the patience is not due to what I think is appropriate,
Yeah.
but feeling what's appropriate from the other and moving in that space. And in that space is the safety.
Mm-hmm.
And the more aware you are, so I played with a little boy in that same school. His mother always put cowboy boots on him. And he loved to kick. So he'd come, and the first times, cowboy boots are sore. When I'm down and I'd get kicked in the back or kicked in the legs, and I had to, and oftentimes I didn't see him. They would come from. I had to learn how to be in such a way so that the distance he kicks is the wrong distance for me to be at. And the shorter the distance, the less pain, the less injury. So instead of moving away from him, I learned to move closer to him.
Mm-hmm.
And in moving closer to him, I could engage
Mm.
with his foot and turn the whole thing around.
Mm.
So the first costs I paid in the first years were physical,
Mm.
because I didn't know how to move. I didn't know how to play.
Mm.
I knew how to play sports. That's an entirely different movement pattern,
Yeah. Yeah.
an entirely different physiology to play football or baseball or hockey or any of those than to play with children. And so cost was some hurts, pains in my body as I learned to move. And being always on was new to me.
Mm-hmm. You mean being always aware, being always present, takes a lot of energy. Doesn't it take a lot of energy?
Yeah.
A lot of, yeah.
So if I said, for you as a teacher now, tomorrow when you go back to school, from the time you leave your car and go open the gate,
Mm.
you're always on
Mm.
until you're outside the gate again.
Mm.
And it doesn't mean always on with the child who comes to you in your classroom. It means 100% with that girl, 100% with everybody in the classroom, and 100% in the entire space of the school, all at the same time. No excuses and no timeouts.
Mm.
I mean, you know how tiring
Yeah,
your
that-
job, a teacher's job, who's paying attention to what's
Yeah.
going on with children, it takes a heck of a lot.
Yeah, it does.
So I was, incredibly tired. Some people who came to study with me and be with me, after one day couldn't do it and they had to stay home and rest. They couldn't do it anymore
I can imagine that.
because
I- It takes a lot.
I don't remember, I'd have to look in the Bible. I don't think Jesus said, you can be like me on Sunday.
Well, I think we're meant to be always on, and that's like, oh my God, you're never getting out.
God doesn't have off days.
No,
Always on.
that seems to be impossible to do. That's why I like our little apartment, close off to everything, so I can be on with you, but nothing else. Too much. It's too much.
But I learned that secret
Yeah.
of always on is yes.
Yeah.
Because I don't take care
Mm.
of all that stuff. God takes care of it.
Mm.
I remember once being not always on. I was with a young moose, and I'd spent the morning with this young moose. Moose was about 8 feet tall.
Mm.
No, it was young, wasn't an adult. And we moved around this space, and we eventually got to the point where we were standing less than a foot from each other, and just standing looking at each other. And while we were doing that, off to my right, in the clearing, came 2 deer chasing each other, jumping, leaping, running in and out of the woods. And this moose and I literally went, and came down, and we're both looking at each other, breathing hard, like, oh. I mean, we're both safe. I don't even know the deer knew we were there, but we certainly knew the deer were there. And after a few minutes, we walked away.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a perfect example of I was 100% here,
Yeah.
and that was all.
Yeah.
Oh. And there's another one that I can think of right now that I love this experience. Happened with, what do you call them? A group of baboons in
Mhm.
South Africa. I had helped a group of people figure out how to deal with baboons. They lived, if it wasn't in a reserve, it's right next to the reserve.
Yeah.
So, and they had lived like normal people away from such a reserve. Baboons terrorized their homes, trashed it.
Mm.
So after talking about that and dealing with that, I took them up on a hill in the middle of the reserve where the baboons existed. And I wonder, why in the world would I ever do that? I don't know anything about baboons.
Mm.
That could be very dangerous. I'm taking people I don't know,
Mm.
7 or 8 people. I don't know. All of my normal life questions are irrelevant. I took them up there. We found a place and we all sit down. Don't move, just sit there. Well, a troop of baboons came to us. Moms with babies
Mm.
and a very large male came. And he came in and he came. And behind, this was like I was sitting next to a rock here. And he sat right here, right behind my head. And at some point I turned and looked at him,
Mhm.
and I'm sure he did this on purpose. He yawned.
Mhm.
He has teeth like a lion.
Yeah.
It's like he's saying, I'm here.
Mm.
Here meant this far away from here. So I had to be 100% right here. And the second 100% had to be
Mm.
the truth. Because there were little babies on top of moms, right?
Yeah.
And moms would sit and the little babies would run around to us.
Mhm.
They'll run over our legs or sit on our legs or sit on shoulders. And I had to be 100% aware of the space
Mhm.
beyond the truth. because there were two rangers sitting over there,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't know who we are,
Yeah.
or what I'm doing, what this is about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing. And eventually the baboons left. The guy left from me, and we went back. It was a show. It was a show. On the one sense, it's a show of dominance,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't take him long, which wasn't necessary.
Mm.
It all just was the same. My patience between the two of us
Mm-hmm.
had to be, oh man, you have big teeth.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Mm-hmm.
No fear, no adjustments, no worries.
Mm-hmm.
Just be.
Mm-hmm.
My job, make him safe.
Mm-hmm.
If he's safe, the
Mm-hmm.
babies are safe.
Mm-hmm.
If the babies are safe, we're safe. Oh, but if I made the wrong move, nobody's safe.
Yeah.
And that's original play. It's patience. It's feeling the space you're in
Yeah.
and knowing the adjustments to make for safety without appearing to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get up or move, or I didn't shift my body. I didn't do anything visible.
Mm-hmm.
What we don't understand, because it's not an understanding process.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how to be safe on earth. We can't feel it. We can't feel safe. And we don't know how to allow ourselves to feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
And we think that guns and knives and big houses and walls and prisons and all that stuff we do. It's not about safety, it's all about fear. So the cost of original play is the safety of grace, and that's its benefit, not more than Jesus was saying to us. That's what the circle of compassion was.